Hey, what's up guys? Joe here from JPRC. This is the second episode of the Red Bull Trophy Truck upgrade videos. And first thing first, I'd like to thank you guys for being so patient with me on this build. That is because in the last 2 months since the episode 1, I have not been able to do much work on this truck. So today I finally get around to actually work on the car and finish the rear component, the rear suspension part of this truck. So I want to show you guys, what I've done so far and kind of give you my personal opinion on this truck and on the quality of these parts. And in addition, I have a new part since the last video, and this is the Joon Fabrication center driveshaft for the Axial Wraith. But this it's actually a perfect fit for the shortened wheelbase trophy truck here based on the Axial Yeti. Now as you can see, most of the work in the rear end has been completed. I mean, it looks really nice right now, but more importantly, in addition to the nice look of these upgraded components, one thing to keep in mind is that these parts weigh a little bit more than the stock plastic parts, so that will shift the weight bias to the rear. And the Axial Yeti natively is a front a nose heavy vehicle. So I think with these upgrades in the rear, it will not only add traction to the back of the truck, but it will also help to balance the car while jumping as well. So with that, let's get started on the upgrade process, and I'll talk to you, some of the details on these components when I was upgrading them. So starting with the center axle, this is the Ssd Center Axle. And right off the bat, you would notice that it has a symmetrical drive shaft on both ends, and this is gonna help reduce the torque steer like the center, like the AR60 stock axle. And one thing you notice that the Ssd axle doesn't have a diff housing from the rear, and that is because the only opening is on the other side, the front side of the axle. So when I was installing the diff gears, well actually the spoof from the stock axle, I had to mind the direction of the gears just to keep it facing the same way, because you don't want to end up installing the gears in the wrong direction and then having the front and rear wheels driving a different direction. Now, in addition to the symmetrical drive shaft that comes with this Ssd Center Axle, it also comes with a set of bigger bearings for the input shaft, for the diff input shaft. And the bigger bearing size translates into more durability in addition to the aluminum housing overall. And unlike the AR60 axle, they did away with the 2 retention clip that locks on the diff to the housing. Instead, the whole diff housing is the piece that secures the diff gears with these metal screws going around. So that completes a full scale look, and I think it looks really sick. So with that, you can also see that the STRC lower link suspension mount has a perfect fitment to the Ssd Center Axle, especially on these mountain joint points. They have a perfect kind of a crease inside the suspension mount, and that kind of locks in place once you have the screw tightening up. So that actually, the color and everything, there was a perfect fit. And then connecting to the upper link and the lower link suspension mounts is the RC4WD Trailing arms. And I was surprisingly pleasantly surprised by how well the fitment of all these 3 companies parts fit together. Let me show you here. As you can see, the RC4WD ball end kind of slide right in with the STRC suspension mount, both for the lower mount and the upper mount there. They were just perfectly made for each other, even though these parts were not meant to go together. Another very nice feature of these trailing arms are the metal ball ends. The stock ones were plastic, and I noticed they worn out already after just a few runs. So these metal ones are actually gonna be a very nice upgrade, increasing the durability and also increasing the visual aspect and the look of it. Similar to the trailing arms, the upper links were already really worn out. As you can see, these plastic balls in there were very worn out already. I can freely move them left and right. So the whole rear end, with these loose ends, they were flopping left and right, really, really bad. So with that, I picked up the STRC aluminum upper links for the Axial Wraith. The Wraith has a shortened wheelbase, so that's perfect fit for this application. And with that, they also have these rebuildable plastic ball ends, just like the RC4WD. So that will allow me to rebuild just replacing the plastic ends instead of replacing the whole aluminum links, when they go out. So from here, the next set of parts that I replaced are the upper suspension mount from STRC. And as you can see here, the STRC also picked up in gray. And again, I am seeing a lot of quality, superior quality here. The fitment of the lower trailing arm and the upper link from the Axial Wraith were direct drop in. The mount itself was held together with 2 screws from the bottom and 1 screw from the top. Installation and replacement was a direct fit with no issue at all. And lastly, as mentioned earlier, connecting from the rear axle to the transfer case are the Joon Fabrication Center Driveshaft. These actually on the label here, if you see it's made in Korea. I picked them up for about $30 on eBay. They made from hardened steel. They actually resemble MIP center drive lines very much. And my first impression on these drive shafts are very, very high. The labeling, the material, the feeling of it, the weight of it, it's very high in quality. I'm not sure how they will hold up, similar to MIPs. But you know, starting at the front end here, they use 2 set screws to lock the axle onto the input shaft. It's just like the MIPs. And then they come fully assembled. However, they're not greased up, so they do provide a grease for you to you know, you do have to take it apart and then re-grease all the internals in there. And then the pins inside the axle are actually held down with these metal rings. They give you 2 extra rings in the bag, and you're gonna have to pull it in there like this and secure the pins in there. However, the center drive line uses a different design. These ones use a D-shaped design instead of the star shape like the MIPs. And installation for the drive shaft, for everything, it was a piece of cake. It was direct drop in, put the set screw in and lock them up with Loctite. I really had no problem installing it at all. The link was perfect for this application as well. So in my future testing, I hope they will hold up really well like the MIPs that I had on my other trucks. Now with that, this will complete the upgrade today, and these are the work I have done today. I really like how it came out. It looks fantastic right now in the rear end, and I believe that it will not only increase the visual look of it, but overall the performance will be increased as well. Now going into it, there is still a lot more upgrade that I have to do, both in the center motor and in the front end there. So hopefully I will have time to work on the rest of the upgrade, both in the center motor and the front suspension components. I may have to go in and upgrade a power system as well, because now we have added a lot more weight with these parts. And lastly, as I mentioned in the previous video, I was gonna paint up a new body for it, and I asked you guys to vote in the comments. So here I have picked up a good selections of decal sheets from mciracing.ca. I have these decal sheets for all different energy brands. So whenever I feel like, you know, a decal that I wanted to use, I can use them from there. And with that, this will complete the video for today. I hope you guys enjoy the you know, upgrade process up close with me. And if you like the video, please give me a thumbs up, and I would highly encourage you guys to subscribe, as I'll be you know, posting back with more upgrade on this truck. And hopefully I get to make a running video of this truck in the snow before the winter ends. So with that, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time.